Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next multiplayer uh, tips and unit recommendations as I'm working through every faction and every unit in the game. The current faction I'm working on is the Adepta Sororitas, and the next unit is the Rhino. But before I get started, if you're enjoying these videos, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. So the Rhino, this is your basic transport vehicle. Very amazing, I know. Costs 150 points. It has 350 health, so it definitely can take a punch. And you need it to take a punch because you want to drive this thing through all the reaction fire so it can unload its precious cargo in the face of your enemy and blow everything up. Or if you're trying to evacuate units to load up and then pull them back. It has one action point, 4 movement, 9 armor. So as you can tell, definitely again takes a big hit, and it has negative 20 evasion. It is a dedicated transport. This is, as far as I know, the only vehicle in the game that has that symbol. The Stormbolter is absolute shit. It needs to be buffed. You just can't kill anything with this thing. Give it 2 armor piercing and maybe increase the cost a little bit. You just got to do something to make this gun do something for you, because you just can't kill anything with this. It's just pathetic. It's like I'd almost rather the self-repair be a skill that you just activate and then not have a weapon if this is what's going to give you, because it's just a waste of space effectively. But it has 18 attacks. Each one does 3 to 4 with an armor piercing of 1, an optimal range of 4, and has 90 base accuracy. So it hits all the time. It just can't damage anything except for Hormigons or Tormigons. So it just really gets frustrating. But the big thing is you want to get your guys into combat, not use this as a damage dealer. And half the time when I'm using this, especially on the first time where there's a good engagement, I tend to use their action points either to move 1 more square so I can get behind an enemy unit to be able to have the Sisters of Repentia get rear attacks on a unit, or if you get them in and you have 1 point left and you've deployed everybody, sometimes it makes sense to use the smokescreen, which is the first ability that the Rhino has, and this is what most people use the Rhinos for, other than transport of course. Is it gives you the smokescreen ability, which applies a large area, I think it's 3x3 or 4x4 area, plus 15 evasion, and it sticks around for 2 turns. So deploy all your forces, pop smoke, or can't quite get into range to deploy forces, pop smoke knowing you're about to get hit, and 15 evasion to everybody that's in the smoke. That does include the enemies though, I'm pretty sure. Then it has a passive ability called self-repair, so every turn it'll heal 15 health points. It is a vehicle, so it has the volatile function, which means when it blows up, anything inside it will immediately die. There's no unloading onto the squares next to it, suffering explosion damage. If this thing blows up and there's guys in there, they just die. So you need to be very careful about that, because there's nothing worse than driving a transport full of 2 Sisters of Repentia, or you have your HQ command or some other really important unit like a Canonist in here. It blows up and all of a sudden you're out 300 and some points. That's a bad day when that happens, especially when you have a whole plan around these guys getting in there and assassinating characters. And then it has the transport ability, so it's able to have a total of 2 models or 2 different units, or a total of 10 models inside it. So you just have to keep that into consideration with how you're doing it. So it's not like you're going to throw in multiple arcoflagellants in there with 7 models per squad here. That's not going to work out well for you compared to some of these other ones, which can do 2 units and 5 and 6 models. So that just kind of gives you an idea in your mind. Okay, I can have up to 10 models in there, 2 units, or 2 units with up to 6 models. So you always got to be memorize that effectively, otherwise you'll forget who could be on those transports, have they deployed, things like that, because there's no indicator as far as I'm aware to know whether there are still units in the transport or not. So let's see what we can do here. And I don't remember where I left off, so let's just use a Tyranid force example here, and that'll be good for showing how to assassinate high value targets and how to use the Rhinos. So it should be good. Let's get you over here, like so. And you can come over here like so. And I guess you can... No, I don't want you to stay there. Let's bring you here to here, and then you can come there. Let's do that. And get the hospital. There we go.
I am his iron will.
One mild annoyance is you can't load multiple characters at once, so it's gotta go through its little animation before it'll load another guy up. It's a, you know, minimal annoyance, but you do have to be somewhat cognizant of that, because you could be like, oh, is that transport full? No, it just needs to go through its animation before it'll let you do the next thing.
Is the sinner that comes this way. Suffer not. With haste. With haste.
We move to execute the unclean.
Well, I guess you're gonna come here.
At once.
For Catherine. For eternity. Putrid is the sin that comes this way. Putrid is the sin that comes this way.
Everyone's attacking me.
Transport awaiting
Alright,
command.
well, let's move you through these guys, because it looks like that angle is where you want to be for your attack. Right? Yep. So we'll drive through,
Match for our armor.
and then we'll unload you here,
Closer to redemption or closer to death.
and you can come here.
Whichever he
Bonus
favors.
attack here, up to here. Charge attack here. Now again, for some reason they get this rear attack. It drives me crazy, but it does happen. So now those guys are down. Let's bring you up to here. Unload you here.
Our lives are the Emperor's to spend.
Get you to here. Kill this guy.
For us, the deeds we do
He's
in
down.
your name.
Rhino ready.
I am
Okay, the
his
same thing
iron
here.
will.
Yep, that corner's where he wants to be. So let's move. Unload him here.
Who needs
Move
my
you
aid?
up to
With
here.
haste.
Get your double attack. Charge here. And let you attack here.
My eviscerator is his.
Another one's down.
What is your command?
Have you come down here. Shoot into these guys. You can
My
attack here.
blade will mete out his mighty judgment.
Nice.
I walk in his.
And let you get a rear attack here.
Who needs my aid?
I guess we're gonna move you up to here.
Conviction is the greatest armor.
Transport awaiting command.
And let's move you up to here.
Rhino ready.
Unload you here.
Closer to redemption or closer to death, whichever he favors.
Get you to here. Let you martyrdom there. You can attack
I walk
him.
in his light. For Catherine, for eternity.
And we'll just move you down to here.
This
nullify his
evil
attack.
must be expunged from the galaxy.
And now you can see how you can effectively use
Our lives are the Emperor's to
these
spend.
rhinos in addition to assassins, because here
So
I've
it
almost
shall
taken out his whole army.
In penance, we
Now,
seek
granted, this
redemption.
was specifically set up to show off this example, but this is how you can do it. This works for rhinos, everything else. So, just kind of crazy.
Our lives are the Emperor's to spend.
Alright. I'll get you here.
Closer to redemption or closer to
And
death,
rear attack this guy.
whichever he favors.
I am his iron will.
You can come down this way. Start chopping him down all day.
My blade will mete out his mighty judgment.
In penance, we seek redemption.
For Catherine, for eternity. I am his iron will.
But yeah, you can see how pathetic these guys' attack is.
Rhino ready.
Now, even with the 75% chance to hit, it's like, okay, you kill a couple models, cool, but what really good does that do?
In his judgment.
Penance will be my reward. For Catherine, for eternity.
And then him, you know, it's like, okay, you did 17 damage or whatever. Not writing home about that.
Who needs my aid?
Your festering soul will burn! It will be done.
But that's a quick example of how to use your rhinos. Like I said, you can. Most people use them for the Sisters of Repentia. Other people like to do it with flamers. And then once guys start taking damage, if you can't get them out safely, you know, load your wounded guys into the rhino transport and pull them back. And then you can unload them the following turn and get some heals going. The only bad side about unloading your guys in the transport is the unloading process takes up half of their movement points. So, you know, the Sisters of Repentia have 4 movement, so when they unload, they only have 2 movement that first turn. So you just always got to take that into consideration when you're doing these things, because you don't want to be like, oh, okay, I'll have my 4 movement to get into place. That's not how it works. You lose the 50%, but that's the only debuff. You don't lose an action point, you don't suffer accuracy penalties, there's nothing like that. It's just purely a movement penalty, and I think that makes sense, because you wouldn't want to be dropping a transport off, you know, going 5 spots and then being able to run another 4 spots. That would be a little bit crazy. So I do like how they set up the transport in this game. You know, I agree that if the transport gets blown up and there's guys in it, then everybody inside the transport gets killed. You know, I like it. It's clear, concise, and it really encourages behaviors to snipe guys down. Now, I'm not going to be able to show an example of the empowered abilities for the smokescreen, because I can't imagine getting one of these guys all the way to be empowered. I mean, you'd have to sit there and tank a bunch of shots and not get them killed and kind of go back and forth, and I think that would just take forever. I can't say I've ever seen a rhino be empowered before, so it's kind of going to be like the Canaptic spiders, where I just don't think it's going to be feasible. I will upload a video though with the smoke screen, because it just dawned on me that I didn't actually use that ability here, so I'll upload that video here so you can see what the smoke screen looks like and how it affects the units. Okay, so I reloaded that last match here, and I wanted to show off how the smoke worked, because I didn't actually use it. So if you use the smoke screen here, it applies the effect, and it's actually way bigger than I thought it was. So if we go here, it's a total of a 4x4, right? 1, 2, 3. Actually, it's even bigger. so it's 5 by 5 with the smoke. So what I wanted, the big thing is you can't deploy it directly around your transport like this. There's a minimum range for it, so be very careful with that, because I have messed that up when I'm moving guys around and I move the transport a little bit too quick, and then I can't get it to where I actually want to deploy smoke. So let's say if I wanted to deploy it here, I would have to be 2 spaces down here before I could deploy it, or be farther to the side. So it can definitely mess you up because it's not clear that it has a minimum range given the description. So that's the first thing I wanted to specifically point out with the smoke screen. And then just there was some question about whether it affected enemies and you. So this guy has 15 evasion here for the default. Our Canonist has 20. So then we'll just pop the smoke right here. And now she's up to 35. And he's up to 30. So it does in fact affect all units. There was some controversy online about whether it just affected your units or everybody. I was pretty convinced that it affected everybody, but there seemed to be a lot of confusion about that, and I didn't want to provide you bad information, so I wanted to verify. But the important thing about that is now that you know for 100% that it does affect your units that way, make sure that you wouldn't deploy smoke before you get all of your attacks, because now all of a sudden you've lowered your accuracy rating and you want to get as many kills and damage dealt as fast as possible. So if you are going to be doing this when you're actually playing, you'd want to unload everybody, get your attacks, and wait for everybody almost to be killed, and then bunch them together, and then you'd be deploying smoke to lower or to increase the evasion on your guys, so then when they get the following turn attacks, your guys don't suffer as much damage. And then yes, they may have 1 or 2 units in the smoke with you the following turn that you'll have to attack with slightly lower accuracy, but it's much better than if every unit that you were attacking had those evasion bonuses or benefits, I guess, is how I'd phrase it. So hopefully that helps you. But thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.